Hey, what's up, guys? Clayton Gits here. So we have got, another special guest. I am so honored to be joined by Pritesh, who is our CTO, our Chief Technology Officer at Real, who can just nerd out with me over what is happening with artificial intelligence, what is happening with financial technology, all on the Real platform. And we're gonna go kind of deep today because we've got the guy whose team is kind of creating all of this stuff. So super excited, and let's get started. Hey, what's up, guys? So I am joined by Pritesh Damani. Did I say that? Damani? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Nailed it. Nailed it. So Pritesh is, first of all, just grateful for you for being so accessible. I think this is something that we don't talk about enough. I was on a call yesterday with Tamir, and all of our, everybody at Real was welcome, and it's like the second time in 30 days that he's been on one of these calls, and so the entire executive leadership team is just so accessible, and so I just really appreciate that, Pritesh. But let's dive in, man. There's so I don't know how you keep it all straight because there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on.
But let's talk about. There was a recent announcement, about a month and a half ago, where, and I think there's a little bit of confusion around this, the acquisition of Flyhomes. Now, for me, just so you know, Pritesh, it made sense very quickly because I was struggling trying to figure out how we were going to pull off Leo for clients, and we're going to talk about that as well today, without having a place for our clients to go to, right? As we're sending them properties to look at. So it made a lot of sense to me, but I want our viewers to understand, what was this acquisition? Why did we acquire Flyhomes, and where are we going with this acquisition?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. And you're one of the, you know, proponents of real technology. So I always love talking to you. To answer your question, when you start thinking about real estate technology, right, and you want to build any kind of product in the industry, the number one thing that you need is property data, right? And there are a few ways of acquiring it. One is you can go through a broker who's aggregating it for you, and there are many of them out there. The other option is to integrate directly with MLSs. And that's the most pure form of doing it. And if you want unrestricted, there are some restrictions on the data, but if you want the best possible case for you so that you can have data the way you understand it, the data the way you want to analyze it, and store it in your own databases and access it when you want, and derive information the way you would like to do it and not be restricted by third-party brokers, you kind of have to end up doing an integration with MLSs. Now, the last number I heard was 600 or 650 MLSs in the country or something, right? It just takes a bit. So that's one problem. Problem number two is, when you want to build some cool technology, the boring part, but boring and important part is the MLS integration. But the innovation is what happens after you have that data, and how do you want to present it? For a team our size and for the investments that we do, we have the core brokerage is what I call it, the core brokerage. Then we have the wallet, Real Wallet, and then we have the consumer effort, right? So those are the three big buckets at the moment, right? There will be other buckets in the future, but those are the three big buckets right now: core, wallet, and consumer, and they kind of couple with each other, right? The wallet works tightly with the brokerage. The wallet will probably work tightly with the consumer at some point. The consumer works tightly with the brokerage, right? So if you look at it, it's like three circles with a little bit of overlap on each one of them, right? So, um, so with the Flyhomes acquisition, we get one really big thing is they spent 5-6 years building all the MLS integrations in the country. Right. So all we have to do is transfer those licenses over, and we have extremely detailed MLS data that's ingested and ready to process. Right. They also had this thin AI layer, which is a newer effort that they were working on. And if you go, the website is no longer live, but if you've gone there, or if you have screenshots of it, you'll see they had some cool AI tricks and
Yeah, I played with
uh,
it. Yeah.
A- yeah, AI things that they had built. Um, the core reason to acquire Flyhomes for us was to just save us time with just sucking the data from MLSs, from third-party sources, weather sources, like school data, and all of this
Mhm.
core pieces of information that we need, so that we could just take that piece of information and then sit on top of it and actually do what we really want to do with it.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
um,
So did you, just to be clear, they had access to every MLS in the country?
they did not have access to all the MLSs in the country. I think the last number I heard was 55, 60 or something, but they had built parsers for basically all the formats in the country. So
Okay.
they, as a business, they weren't doing business in, like, some small county that has its own MLS,
Hmm.
right? So they didn't have all the MLSs. They didn't need all the MLSs. Um, for a nationwide brokerage like us, we will probably need all the MLSs.
Hmm.
However, we can go get the licenses and get the licenses from the MLSs because we're probably members there, right?
That's right.
So, but
Yep.
they have the technology to parse it. So it's just adding a new MLS
Okay.
feed, but they
Okay.
have like built the base layer for it, right?
Got it. Got it. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that made kind of strategic sense. Obviously, we got talent along with it, and years of experience. Nothing is free, right? Like if we tried to do it ourselves, we would make the same mistakes they've already made, right? So, and that's the advantage that you get when you acquire talent, is like they kind of come
Hmm.
with not only knowledge but all the mistakes that they've made along the way, and we value that a lot more because
Hmm.
we don't have time to make mistakes,
Got it.
right?
Got it. Got it. So let's nerd out on this a little bit, Pritesh, because I have this. There are all of these apps out there today. Lovable is one of them. Rebecca, there's a couple more out there. So Rebecca's sitting behind the camera here. She's our incredible marketing manager, and I sat down with her yesterday, Pritesh, and we were looking at Lovable to build out my website, my brand, and also to kind of add layers to our existing company's website, Mission Realty, content, and kind of try to dominate the SEO game using artificial intelligence and bots and things. So I sit down with her and she shows me this version of a website that she built not using Lovable, just using ChatGPT. Was it 5.0, Becca? ChatGPT 5.0. And Pritesh, and how long did it take you to build that? 2 days. 2 days.
Yeah.
Built a website with all of these layers just using ChatGPT 5.0. So we're dropping our Lovable. Sorry, Lovable. We're dropping our Lovable membership. But here's the question. Tamir shared with me a couple of weeks ago that just 12 months ago, AI was producing maybe 10% of the code, right? Writing 10% of the code for all of the technology that we're building. What he shared with me is that today it's close to 100%. And so the question I have is AI at the place now? Because you talk about Flyhomes, why can't AI just build Flyhomes? Right. And I heard what you said about acquiring the talent and all the other things that go along with it. But are we at the place where artificial intelligence will start to replace developers, and the speed at which technology is built is just going to accelerate? And does that put us, how does that impact us? Right. Because I'm all in on our technology. Obviously you are as well. But will artificial intelligence and other people having access to that speed impact us? And how is it going to benefit us at the same time?
Great question. So let me give you a stat. 95% of the code that's written at Real right now is written by AI.
Mm.
95%. Like our entire team uses AI to write code. Um, our entire team uses AI to write product requirements. Our entire team uses AI to do QA. We use AI to do design work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're already using AI. So what does that mean? That means that the things that used to take us 40 days, 60 days, now take us 2 days, 3 days.
Wow.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and remember, like our team is minuscule compared to, you know, other brokerages in the industry where the budgets are tipped the other way, right? Like we spend, like, we are a very cash efficient company. We don't
Mm-hmm.
spend money we don't have, right? Generally
Mm-hmm.
speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So, mm, um, anyway, so the short answer to your question is like, we are already using AI. Like 95% of the code at Real is generated with AI right now, right? So, uh, is AI going to replace developers? I think, I don't think so. I think AI, where it is right now, we call it like an L3, L4 engineer. Level 3, level 4 engineers at Real, we hire level 5, level 6, and then it's like staff engineers and like these designations that kind of, give you some kind of a barometer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think entry level engineers are going to have a very hard time finding jobs soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Entry level, because AI is definitely better than an entry level engineer right now.
Mm-hmm. Got
Um, however, experienced engineers will probably become more valuable
it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because AI is also really bad at keeping the thought patterns and remembering what it worked on yesterday, at least the way the tools are today. And like the tools are also evolving exponentially. So I'm
Yeah.
talking about the problems today, and today is like
Right.
August
Right.
20th, 2025, right? So if
Right.
someone's
Right.
listening
Right.
to this podcast a year later,
Yeah.
but
Everything's changing. Right. Right. Right.
exactly. So everything is changing really, really fast. We made the transition to 100% AI 3 months ago. 3 months ago, this was not possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was evolving, but not for an enterprise to switch. It
Mm-hmm.
was possible for like a rinky-dink idea, but not for an entire enterprise to switch. I
Mm-hmm.
spent 3 months personally evaluating and getting us to a point where I personally feel like, okay, it's worth the risk of telling everyone we're shifting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're using AI 100%.
Okay.
And it takes a developer mind shift as well, because all of a sudden you're going to people and telling them, hey, you used to make this table as a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to talk to this machine that's going to make the table, but you no longer make the table.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a very hard shift. That's a very hard transition that people have to kind of go through.
I can only imagine. So your job then becomes overseeing the new thing making the table.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you still have the experience of what a good table looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You have the
Mm-hmm.
experience
Got
of
it.
saying, you just made a wrong cut. That's not going to work. Undo
Got
it,
it.
do it again.
Got
And
it.
that's where AI is right now.
Got it.
Is you do have to prompt it. You do have to look at the results. You do have to prompt it correctly. Because at the end of the day, it can probably spit out a lot of code, but we still have to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
So because we have to live with it, we need to make sure that it's bug proof. We need to make sure that it's testable. We need to make sure it's scalable. We need to make sure that it's not writing the same piece of code like 100 times. And we have to tell it like, no, you already have this piece of code. Use that code. Don't write new code, because AI is not smart enough there yet. But I guarantee you, in 3 months from now, this conversation would look completely different.
So do do you have any concern because of everything that you just said and how fast AI is moving? Like the competitive landscape, like in my mind, if you have a small team of people that understand artificial intelligence and how it works, you can build something. And so I guess I just get confused that all of these other brokerages, and I shared this with you off camera, that one of the things that Tamir shared yesterday with all of us was that we're not building a brokerage, we're building a platform, because most brokerages, and this is where I just get confused. It's like, do they not understand the shift that is taking place right now? Because it seems like a small team of level 4, level 5, whatever, that's a new language for me, developers that understand artificial intelligence can build something. So the question is, are we far enough ahead, because we've been working on this for years, where there's not a lot of concern with the technology that we've built that someone else could just jump in and duplicate it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, this is a question that people have asked me like for many years now. It's like, can a competitor in any field, forget about brokerages, like any field, catch up to another person, like another competitor? The answer is generally yes. Like generally speaking, someone could catch up to us. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The question is how long and how much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, what I mean by is like how long is it going to take and how much is it going to cost, and who's going to actually do it for them. So
Mm-hmm.
when we go and talk about just our specific field, like brokerages, real estate brokerages, unfortunately, it's an extremely boring industry from a technology perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you ask a Silicon Valley kid, like, hey, where do you want to work? Like, they're not going to say real estate brokerage. They're just not
Mm-hmm.
going to say that,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're going to say TikTok, or they're going to be like, oh, I want to work on the next AI product, or I want to work in like a banking, hyper trading platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's first answer is real estate brokerage, unfortunately, right? Because it's just not a sexy industry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, that doesn't mean talent doesn't exist. It's just not their first response. So
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? That means that the quality of startups that come into this vertical versus other verticals is not the same. The
Mm-hmm.
quality of talent that starts in this vertical versus some other verticals not the same. And you have to truly find the gems and nurture them and then hold on to them if
Mm-hmm.
you really want to build an incredible product. So,
Mm-hmm.
Zillow has, for example, Zillow is a great example of like what I consider a technology company that has done a good job of like building a product that everybody wants to use, but they've been around for like 20, 25 years, right? They have a brand, et cetera, et cetera. You know, another brokerage in the industry is going to have to go through that transition of becoming what I call a technology company. A technology company is not a company that takes five products and plums them together and then puts a single sign on, like sign in with Google or something on top
Mm-hmm.
of it and say,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do this, go to this link. If you want to go this, go to this link. If you want to do this, go to this link. That's not a
Yes.
technology company. That's
Yes.
plumbing,
Yes.
right? So if you have that plumbing DNA in your company, it is going to be very hard to switch out of that.
Mm-hmm. And we see our competitors doing that. And it's just interesting given the landscape. Watching, first of all, brokerage is not moving at all, right? Or seemingly not moving at all, and then others. I think it's a testament to what you're saying. It's still incredibly hard to build when you're trying to build something, and we're going to get into this, that not only benefits the agents, talking about real estate, but also benefits the consumer. It's just hard.
So I think I have a little bit of a different perspective. So yes, it's hard, but there's so many things that are hard, right? Like it's hard to sell a home, it's hard to find a customer, it's hard. Everything that has great benefits is
Mm-hmm.
hard because
Mm-hmm.
that's why their benefits are great, right? Like it's risk versus reward. Um, I think like the unsaid rule is the risk portion. And I think most companies that I bump into are just not willing to take the risk.
Mm-hmm.
What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that is like, say you have 30,000 agents and you go, I'm going to build a completely new platform. And I'm going to force every one of them to move to this platform.
It's a great point. Yep.
That is
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Yeah.
That is risk
Yeah.
because along the way, there's going to be bumps,
Mm-hmm.
right? Another perspective, how many, when you're a startup, everything is greenfield. You take risks, all sorts of risks. And like you go, oh, I want to build this, I want to build that. And everybody's excited. People are raising money and you go build stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a bigger company,
Mm-hmm.
you no longer have that luxury.
Yeah.
Um, you know, most execs I know are scared to even pitch an idea
Mm-hmm.
because A, they don't want to be judged, and B, they don't want to take the risk of losing their jobs
Mm.
because that's the outcome. The outcome is you make two bad bets and people are like, oh well, you know what, Pritesh is kind of just done. We got to go find someone else, right? Because it's capitalism 101. Like this is just how
Yeah.
it works. Like I fully
Yeah.
expect it to happen. So
Yeah.
um, so you need to find people who are willing to, put their neck on the line and innovate. And there are so many internal tough conversations that need to happen for that to happen. And what's the motivation? An argument can be made that my financial outcome would probably be the same with or without any innovation going forward.
For how
So
long?
Exactly. What's the motivation?
Right.
The
Right.
motivation is a motivation for a creative person is to let them create. That
Mm-hmm.
is the motivation
Mm-hmm.
to make to keep them happy
Mm-hmm.
because creativity comes out of happiness. It doesn't come out of, pressure of some sort. Creativity comes out of the willing to do something
Mm-hmm.
and it's just within, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is the core
Mm-hmm.
problem. So Samir and I talk about all the time. It's like, why can't we attract people who want to build amazing things? And I tell him all the time, it's because they are building it for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to buy them out of whatever they're building, get them motivated to build with you. And that is our job going forward.
Yeah.
And Flyhomes is that,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Got it. All right. So let's just put a bow on that. So in this I think we can transition into Leo for clients. So what made a lot of sense to me, Pritesh, is that because I was having a hard time completing the loop. Like, where are we sending these people? Like, we don't want to send them to Zillow, obviously. We don't want to send them to an MLS link. So where are we sending these people? So, correct me if I'm wrong. Leo for clients it's not an app. I think we started to go down that path of building an app, and then you had this idea. It's got to be something different. Clients, our clients they don't need another app. They don't want another app. They certainly don't want to communicate with us through an app. How do consumers want to communicate? How are they communicating in today's world? And it's text. I mean, I think more and more people, I'm one of them, don't want to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
And so I just think it was a genius move where, we're gonna push out 30,000, whatever the number is at launch, unique artificial intelligence phone numbers where our clients will receive communication if we want them to. And that's another question I had. I'm assuming, I'm telling people this. We'll be able to kind of, choose whether or not we want to use this technology, of course, in the beginning, right? Yeah. Okay, so check that box. But utilizing artificial intelligence to communicate with our clients through this unique AI phone number, and sending them links that now lead back to a proprietary, platform that we own, Flyhomes, that is pulling all this MLS data, and then they're communicating with us back and forth, through this AI phone number. So if we can just wrap that up with what does this look like, today, and what is your team, you and your team's vision for the future of Leo for clients?
So, it's incredible how fast AI is moving, right? So when we made this announcement October last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we want to do this, and it's gonna be text messaging because ChatGPT is here and like GPTs are here and large language models are here, and look at how you can have human-like conversations, right? Now you can have human-like voice conversations with no latency. Literally, you can't tell the difference,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have started thinking about it as a being, right? You can talk to this thing however you want and whenever you want, right? You can choose to dial in, you can text. When we hand you over to like a detailed, listing page that is proprietary, and it will have seamless integration. So you could literally be texting it, and then when we send you a link and you go to this link, and you can literally then continue your conversation on that link.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go back to your text message. And then eventually you do go back and you'll see all those messages in there too. Like, it needs to be seamless. It needs to be where you are versus where we want you to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I think the world is moving into a new way of interaction, and like keyboards were was a rudimentary way of talking to computers because that was the way we could send signals back and forth.
Yes.
Now we've gotten to a point where you can talk to a computer, and the latency, which is the amount of time it takes to interpret what you're talking and respond back to you, is near human-like or human-like. Like in our test results, we are seeing human-like results right now.
Hmm.
right? So Leo for clients and Leo, um, in many ways, is the same thing. It's the same piece of technology, just getting carved up differently. But you calling into support, you're not going to know if you're talking to our support staff or you're talking to Leo. I can just guarantee you this.
Yeah.
Like I saw a recording yesterday, and yeah, and I was just like, who am I talking to? It was
Yeah.
almost a joke.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, but the modality of conversation, I think is replaceable now. So what we announced last October and what we launched this time is going to be a superset. Is all I'm going to say for now.
Mm. I can't wait. So, you know, someone, I can't remember if it was a podcast or something I was listening to yesterday, but they were saying that they've basically stopped using Google, um, and moved to Gemini or ChatGPT for all of their searches.
Mm,
And this was, you know, I mean, who would have thought of this 12 months ago, right? And so,
yeah.
just talking to Tamir a couple of weeks ago on our podcast, and I had mentioned to him that just a simple example of years ago, Pritesh, showing time, which is how most MLSs are scheduling showings now, and
Mm,
we'll of course have an integration with showing time where you'll have artificial intelligence, our digital assistant, if you will, scheduling showings for our clients on our behalf without us interacting at all. But when showing time was launched in our market for the first time, I was an early adopter. I've always been, for better or for worse, I've just always been an early adopter. And I had agents calling me frustrated, agents in my market calling me frustrated that I was using this new technology, and they couldn't call me directly to schedule a showing on one of my properties. And today it's like what? Because everybody's using it now. But my point is, what feels uncomfortable or not normal today in a very short period of time will be normal, right? This communication with artificial intelligence, and we will have AI communicating with AI. You already can't tell the difference. And so, I think with the way that I look at it, and it's one of the main reasons that I'm at this company, is we're no longer building a brokerage. We're building a platform, because you said something a couple of minutes ago. If we streamline the process that makes it so attractive for consumers, makes the experience for consumers more pleasant, easier, information at their fingertips, communicating the way that they want to communicate, um, it they're not only going to come back, but they're going to tell their friends.
absolutely. I mean, I think as it relates to technology, the one sentence that works all the time and leads to incredibly beautiful companies and successful companies is build something that people want.
Mm,
This is a phrase that like there's a incubator called Y Combinator uses this all the time, or some variation of that, but I think I might be very close. Build something that people want.
yeah.
And so when we build something, like we really ask ourselves, is this something people want? Or is
Mm,
this something that we think is cool? And two different things,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
They're two different things.
Great
So,
point.
but and it's challenging because sometimes people don't know what they want, but they should want it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, and that's innovation,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And 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 I think that's the job of the innovator, is to anticipate what people will want in the future. So if you pitch them a product, and this is why we are very careful when we ask agents for feedback, is because it's the same agents that were telling you why are
Mm-hmm,
you using showing times are the same agents
mm-hmm,
who are going to give us feedback. That's not the feedback that we want.
mm-hmm,
So we have to be careful when we ask for feedback on like what kind of feedback do we want and are we asking the right people.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
sometimes you have to bet on what people will want, and that's the
mm-hmm,
bet, right?
mm-hmm.
So to
And the
give you
risk.
perspective,
Yeah.
yeah, to give you exactly the risk, and are we willing to take that risk, right?
Yeah.
To give you perspective, people ask us all the time, it's like, how is Leo used? And like, they are every agent at Real is using Leo, whether they know it or not.
Mm,
Like to give you perspective, we are processing 1,000 documents a day right now, which I think will go to 10,000 or 15,000 documents a day through Leo. So when you upload your contract or when you upload like any of your documents through your transaction system, Leo parses 1,000, finds around 50 documents per 1,000 documents with errors in it, and instantly tells the agent that there is an error, and in detailed format. Line, the address doesn't match the address on the transaction. Line number 5 needs a signature. Blah 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 blah. Right now, you could say, well, so what? But here's the so what part of it. A typical response time on that would be when the broker looks at it and hopefully they catch all the problems, right?
Hmm.
Versus you got that response in like, I don't know, 3 seconds or 4 seconds,
Yes.
right? So, but they didn't say, let's use AI. They
Hmm.
just uploaded a form
Hmm.
and Leo kicks in at the right time. Same
Hmm.
thing with support. Like when you ask Leo a question, before handing you over to support, even when you tell us, I want to call support, we ask you, like, Leo will say, like, what do you want to help with? And
Hmm.
they're deflecting around, not deflecting, but answering around 35 to 40% questions
Yes.
before it even hits our support teams.
Yep.
Now
I
you can
use it.
say,
I use it daily. Yep.
and you can make an argument like, oh, why is that? I want to talk to a human being. But the problem is, you can have that perspective today. You will not have that perspective in like a year from now, right? Because you're used to talking to AI now everywhere, and you're like, this is just the new normal. But you're getting responses instantly versus having to talk to a human being.
Well, but there's also another, I think, really important layer to that that people don't understand. When you're building a brokerage, specifically a brokerage, and I think it's excuse me, a platform. When you're building a platform that is giving away 60% of its revenue, in our case from the 15%, the 85-15 split, right? You have to have an efficient model, number one. But I would also argue, even if you're not, right, because that 60%, for example, is being eaten up by other things. Maybe it's infrastructure, maybe it's brick and mortar, all the things, right? Most We're profitable as a company. Most brick and mortar large brokerages are not. And so, I get uncomfortable saying this. But the more in the future, and I'd love your thought on this, in the future, the more we are dependent upon human resources, um, we lose that game. As a brokerage that's trying to scale and provide significant value and be competitive in this market. So what we've built and what we are building with artificial intelligence is not to replace 100% of human resource, but it's to replace a significant amount. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, you brought up something really, really cool and important. So March or February 2021, we had like, I don't know, 400 active agents or something. I think the number was bigger, but the active agent count was like low. At that point in time, Amir and I were chatting about technology and what do you want to build. They had just acquired Realty Crunch. I was just on board like a month into it. I was supposed to build the consumer part. I was responsible for the consumer part,
Mm.
right? And um, the brokerage was already kind of working and whatnot, right? And I told Amir, like, we will never be profitable if we don't automate our entire brokerage,
Mm.
right? And I actually made a list for a different presentation. I'm gonna pull it up. Give me 1 second. Of
Mhm.
all the things that people told us you can't do, I'm gonna
Mm.
read you this list.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
crazy, but I actually have this list. Is The timing is impeccable. Okay. Um. So here's okay. Then agents will never validate their own commissions. Agents will never send out commission documents to title companies. Agents will never switch from SkySlope.
Mhm.
We can never launch a wallet program or a financial product. We cannot build a mortgage product. We cannot build our own signature product. We should not do voice transcriptions on calls with brokers because agents are worried about privacy. Agents will never use Leo for support. That's like the list I have right now, and I have four other items that are currently in contention. And the point I'm trying to make is like, people will always tell you what's not possible because that's the easy thing to do.
Mm. Mm.
The hard thing to do is to believe and have conviction.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think AI is the future. I think scale is really extremely important. Um, I think humans will have better things to do, is my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for a efficient business that we need to build, we need to rely on less human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal isn't to let go of the people we have. The goal is to not grow from a
Mm-hmm.
human count perspective and grow from a capital perspective, right? Like we should
Mm-hmm.
make more money and spend less money.
Yes.
Um, WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
at the time of acquisition, when this is off memory, but when Meta bought WhatsApp, the total employees at WhatsApp were 16, 1 6. And I think the acquisition was $16 billion. You don't have to hire a lot of people to build technology products. You just have
Great
to have the
example.
right people,
Yeah.
and you have to believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe that you can solve the problems, and you have to believe that the risk is worth taking. Well,
Yeah.
we've made mistakes along the way, by the way, right? A lot of
Oh yeah.
mistakes, a lot of bugs. We've lost money because of bugs. I mean, stuff happens, but like, if you don't make these mistakes, like, you're not going to go anywhere.
And you can't learn.
You
Yeah.
can't learn.
Yeah. So just to a couple quick questions around that, and then I want to wrap with Real Wallet. So are you do you have a hard stop, by the way, at the top of the hour?
Let me check quickly.
Okay.
No, I think we have 30 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we won't need that much time. But so can you as far as reviewing, I heard the reviewing contracts, and I think that's going to just create incredible efficiencies not only for the agents but for our support and broker ops. What about writing contracts? Where are we with that? In other words, I see a world where we ask our digital assistant Leo to write a contract for 123 Main Street, and it just writes it. And then it sends it to the client on our behalf to be electronically executed through our proprietary e-signature platform. Um, is that too far fetched?
It's not far-fetched at all. I think like if you start connecting the dots, right, you'll start seeing that we are already evaluating contracts, so we can read and we can tell you what the mistakes are. So we understand these contracts already. We
Mm-hmm.
just have to write on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think it's building blocks, the Lego blocks that Sharon and I used to talk about, right? Like we have to do some things in some order,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to sit on top of it. But
Mm-hmm.
in my world, I don't want you to use a keyboard anymore,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that's a real digital assistant.
Mm-hmm. It's just all conversational.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't even have to be the phone, right? Like in my world, like you just go to Reason, but instead of like an interface, you just have like a orb,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just talking to it, like Jarvis style,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
why does it have to be an interface? Like
Mm-hmm.
why does it have to look like a website? Why does it have to look like an app?
Mm-hmm.
Like why can't it just be an orb
Yeah.
and you're just talking to it?
Yeah. I love the Jarvis
So
analogy.
yeah, I think like, and this is what I'm talking about. I think it has to be so radically different that it is a step, like a step function change, not like, from 1 to 0.01, right? It needs to
Yep.
be a big change.
Yes.
Um, and that's what we want to do. And it's going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the 60% revenue, right? We consider that partnership and marketing dollars,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we launch new products, our hope is that the products are viral in nature enough that the 30,000 marketers that we have
Mm-hmm.
are the ones that are pushing the product. And
Yes.
if they did push the product, we have something huge.
Yes. Yes.
30,000 people, think about it. Even if they talk to 5 people every day, telling them about like the new onereal.com or whatever, how long before we have traction?
It's interesting you say that because it's already, as far as I'm concerned, very easy to talk about and to explain. I was talking to Dre, our CMO, a couple of weeks ago, and she was she was questioning why the new presentation, the new Real presentation was being underutilized by agents. And here's what I told her. I said, I don't use I use very little of a presentation at all. I go directly to our technology. So when I'm talking to people about Real, I want them to experience it. I want them to
That is
experience
the
the platform. So I'm literally walking them through on Zoom today's technology. I cannot imagine. Yes, I can. When all of this stuff that we're talking about rolls out and we can move into the banking product, when I can physically show them that, I mean, heads are going to explode.
it has to, right? Or else
Yeah.
or else I'm not having fun with this, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the thing, right? Like Sharon used to say this all the time, is he won almost every presentation that he was doing. He used to always only demo. He would not. He was demo first,
Yeah.
right? And frankly, his number one frustration was that a lot of our top people don't actually know how our product works because they have assistants doing the work for them. So then
Mm,
it makes them ineffective in demos.
mm,
Right. This is the one
great
feedback
point.
he used to give to everybody. It's like you have people doing the work for you. So you actually don't truly experience
Mm-hmm,
the technology.
mm-hmm,
And the promoters of the random promoters of the product are the single agents or the smaller teams that have
mm-hmm.
hands-on experience
Yeah.
and appreciate where they came from. And they're the ones
Yes.
who go to social media and create these cool videos and stuff like that. Right. So yeah, if I were to give advice to like anybody who wants to grow the network, like I really think the way to close the deals are to what you're saying is
Yeah.
to tell a story through technology because
Yes.
everybody's got a story,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But when they can visualize it, they realize very quickly that none of it is actually fake.
Yeah. That's right. So uh, you want to move to the banking product and wrap up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So again, when I think about this, it's another one of the reasons why I moved to Real is, I I didn't want to first of all make a lateral move, and I didn't want to just be with another Me Too, product. And the fact that I understand high level when investors are, because we're a publicly traded company and we all benefit as partners. We're acquiring stock through our production, and so when I look at as an investor in the company, we're not just a platform or a real estate company. We are now also a financial technology product, a bank, if you will, and at scale. Right? It's one thing to talk about 30,000 agents, but what about 50 or 60 and potential for, this is the way that I look at it, Pritesh, as we move into international space down the road, and people are using this banking product and we've got, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in our bank, and the advantages that the company has from that capital sitting there, and the advantages that the agents have. So, and we can talk about that. But if we pull this off, and I thought it was you in October that said this, but I'd love your perspective on this. If we pull this off, like massive adoption, will this be worth more than the brokerage itself? And
I still believe that.
okay,
Yeah, it was me. I still
okay,
believe it because
okay,
the brokerage, the margins are thin, right?
mm-hmm,
So we will make, you know, order of magnitude more on ancillary services, and wallet is one of the ancillary services, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, the best part about wallet is that it doesn't come out of your pocket. This is
mm,
the best part about the what do you mean, the profits don't come out of, you are not paying for the profits, right? You're actually benefiting
yes,
because when you keep your money in any standard checking accounts, you are not going to get the returns that you get when you keep it at a real checking account, right? You're not going to get the convenience you can get. Like, for example, points, right? We've talked about points, that you get points when you keep money, you get points when you spend money.
mm-hmm,
Launching today in alpha, right? We're launching, rolling it out today, we're QAing it. We already have agents who've been using it in October. We're in August, right? They're already on like silver tier, gold tier. Some of them are in gold tier already, um, which is incredible. They are going to save thousands and thousands of dollars at Real when they start using their points.
So I just want to make sure people understand what you just said. So as they're utilizing, so we have a banking platform built into our technology. As our agents start to use our Real Visa debit card or the Real Visa credit card, and there's a little bit of confusion around the two and the points. So I'd like to clear that up. But the Real Visa debit card, for example, the more that we access our capital by utilizing the Real Visa debit card, for business expenses, recurring expenses, it doesn't matter. We will accrue points just like we would with any other, points-based card, American Express, for example. And we can utilize those points to offset, reduce, in many cases, eliminate the fees associated with running our businesses at Real. And we're already a low, very competitive financial model. So, so that's what you're talking about when you're talking about points.
Yeah, let me take a stab at explaining it like as
Okay.
simply as I can.
Okay.
At Real, when you join Real, you have the option to create a Real wallet. A Real wallet is a business checking account
Mm-hmm.
that gives you a debit card.
Mm-hmm.
When you keep money in that checking account, you accumulate points at a certain rate.
Mm.
And when you use your debit card to spend money, which is connected to this bank account because every checking account has a debit card, you swipe money and you buy a coffee for business, or you buy a roof for your business or a car for your business, whatever it is, you get points for doing that as well.
Pritesh, I don't mean to cut you off, but I totally missed this along the way. So forgive me. We are earning points just by keeping our money in the accounts.
Yes, you're
Okay.
earning
Okay.
points.
That's
You're,
news to me. So forgive me. I missed that. That's huge. Okay. Please continue.
yeah. So you get points for keeping money and you get points for spending money via the debit card.
Okay.
Right. And as we add more products like a charge card or something, you will get points for that as well. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Now, these points put you on a tier. And what we can do is like when you edit the podcast, you can probably, I'll send you a slide that you can put in there
Perfect. Perfect.
for video usage. People can refer to that.
Perfect.
That puts you on a tier. And you can choose to spend your points anywhere. So in the UI, soon, very you're going to have a button that says pay with points. Like everything else, every other debit card or credit product out there, like Amex, pay with points or whatever, you're going to have pay with points. So if you owe Real on say you're doing a transaction, you owe Real like $300, you will have an option, the button that says pay with points.
Mm.
And we will send that money back to you and you pay with points and you have a multiplier. What a multiplier is there are different tiers, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, right? On every level, your points are worth more.
Mm.
So if you don't spend your points and you keep them, as you accumulate more points, you jump tiers,
Okay.
right? So your gold points are worth more than the silver points and stuff like that, right? So a lot of people are already at gold tier, people were early adopters, and they're all going to benefit out of it. And we promised them that it was going to be retroactive. So we're literally processing it right now. In the next few days, we're going to start rolling it out to alpha, make sure there are no bugs or whatever, and then start showing points to everyone. And then a month or so from then, you can redeem those points. So we're getting very close, but you know, it's complicated financial technology. Like we have to do accounting, we have to build the banking layer, we have to integrate with our general ledger to make sure that we account for liabilities. Like when we give you points, they're actually worth dollars for us because you're building up those points. Every time you shift from silver to gold, the company is now giving you more. So we have to account for that in our ledgers, right?
Wow.
Stuff like that. So it takes a bit. Um, but anyway, so that's the idea, right? So we are sharing that revenue that we get from interest deposits, from interchange on your debit card with the agent. So again, there is partnership, right? And the goal is to make the brokerage free if you like commit to everything. Like that's the goal, and we will keep adding products to this thing, right? So that's current. We now launched. Um, it is in alpha right now, and a few agents have already borrowed money. We've now launched a loan product in the US. We used to have it in Canada. So now you can borrow money and we underwrite your business and we offer you we extend you a credit line that you can borrow money that will get deposited in your real wallet. So again, there's like this ecosystem of you borrow money and now you're collecting points for it. You're spending it,
Yes.
you're returning it, and it keeps
Yep.
going, right? So that's where things are right now.
So I just want to clarify one thing. When we're talking about, is the future of this thing also, will it also impact the cap, or we're talking about fees associated with running your business at Real?
You can, oh, actually, great question. You can use the points to pay whatever you want to pay. So it's for us, real split versus fees is the same thing, it's just dollars. So you can actually use the points to pay towards your cap as well.
Wow.
Right? What I mean, like you cannot just independently pay the cap, just to be clear. Say you're
Right.
not capped and you have a transaction and now you owe $2,000 in real split. You can choose to pay those $2,000 with the points.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So in theory, you
Wow.
could get
So
away with
there,
not paying a lot of money.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Um, Selfishly, when are we, when will the complete profit first like banking system be rolled out? So all, be the ability to create multiple accounts instead of just, so today we have the tax account where we can
Hmm.
automate the movement of our money from our business checking account, whatever percentage we want, 15% automatically carved off the top to sit in that tax account. When will we have the ability to have multiple accounts?
As soon as we can build our loan product for the United States,
Okay.
right? Because that is the number one requested feature,
Mm-hmm.
which is obvious. Like the need for it is obvious, and the second biggest requested feature is the ability for a team leader to be able to use that line of credit or that credit limit to help their team,
Mm,
right? People in need. So I think those are the two main focal points right now.
yeah,
Um, as soon as we're done with that, that's when we have some room to like start improving and like
got
creating
it.
these accounts and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Um, anything else that you want to touch on that your team is working on from a technology standpoint before we wrap up?
I think if you're not coming to Rise, you're gonna miss out on some really cool announcements and like launches, like absolute fabulous launches, the best things we've done. So
That's such a good tease. I've got my ticket. I will be there. Let me just say that I appreciate everything you and your team are working on. It just makes it fun to talk about. It makes it easy to talk about, and I actually see, again, I see this, the picture is filling in, and the future of what this platform looks like, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. When agents are looking at us, it's really, how can we help these agents scale their businesses, not only maintain profitability, as they scale, but reduce the amount of work that they have to do, because it's hard. Like, consumers don't realize how hard this business is, and how for many of us,
yes,
the productive agents, that we're 7 days a week. We are missing really important, and look, anytime you're building a business, because we're all independent contractors, we're business owners, we're founders, if you will, that comes with the territory, right? So I get that, but um, what you and your team are creating, it doesn't go unnoticed, and I just want to say thank you, Pritesh, sincerely. It's just fun to be on this ride with you. So appreciate your time.
no, I appreciate you guys. Like, I mean, especially Clayton, you were one of the earliest and the biggest believer in Real Wallet, and I will never forget that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Pritesh. All right, guys. So that wraps another episode for us. Really appreciate you spending some time with us. I would go back and watch this thing multiple times because there were some gems in here. And stay tuned. So I would imagine Pritesh and I will be back after conference this year with some major announcements. But until next time, have an amazing day.